And to do it, you go back up to text, to CSS styles, and select new. And now instead of using the selector type class, we're going to use advanced. Okay? And we want to define the link state. And so notice here under advanced ID there's link, visited, hover. We're actually not going to use active. So we're going to use these first three. And it is important that you define them in this order. So I'm going to start with link. But I'm also going to be defining it just for my style called main. Okay, so that means that only when a link is within text that is styled using main will this link color be true. And this is important to distinguish link, visited, and hover for different styles, because you may have several different styles going throughout your page, and you may want to have different link, visited, and hover states for each different style. So that's why we put this main in front of it. And I actually think it's without the period, so I'm going to just put main here in front of the a:*link. And again, it gets defined in my CSS. And here I define, and I really don't need to pick all the properties. The only thing that's going to change is the color. So let's say, and aesthetically I'm not sure this is the best choice, but let's just make it a hot pink. It would be something we can see for sure. Okay. And once I do that, and I just noticed that this isn't right. It actually does need to have the dot in front of it. So let me just go to my CSS and change that, because that's not right. So notice it was just missing the little period in front of it, so I added that. Okay. So now when we preview, notice that it is pink. So our link color is working. But let's do the other properties, the visited and the hover. So go back up to text, go to CSS styles, select new. We're going to do advanced, select visited, again put .main in front of it, and select OK. And now we're going to do the visited. So let's say for the visited color, I'm going to make that sort of like a dark gray. Okay. And then finally I'm going to do the last one, which, oops, go down to CSS, styles, go to new, again go to advanced. This time we're going to do our hover. And again, I'm going to put .main. And for our hover, let's make it red. And just for kicks, we'll make it bold too, so it'll be really obvious when we're hovering over it. Again, I'm not sure these are the best design choices, but just for the sake of this demonstration, it'll be really obvious to you. The other thing is that I just wanted to show you is oftentimes you'll see that sites don't have underlines anymore for their links. So I can change this. Again, I can just double click on this property called main a:*link, and just under decoration select none. And when I do that, that will take away that underline. So let's go to preview this. And now we'll see it's pink as the link, it's red bold as our hover, and let's see if the visited doesn't seem to work. Sometimes it's a browser thing. Let me just check it in Safari, see if it's working there. Our hover is working. Okay, our visited doesn't seem to work. It's supposed to be gray. All right, but you get the idea. That is how you change your link, visited, and hover states for your text styling. Okay? Now, how do you attach a style sheet to each page? As I demonstrated, it's really important, critical actually, that you have all of your pages with this link href to your CSS file. So you can see here it's located in the head of the page. Now, sometimes it really isn't a problem because oftentimes your, this is the pricing page, and to create the next page for this site, let's say the specials page, I might just do a save as, because I don't want to have to recreate anything over and over. So if I did that, if I created my specials page from my pricing page, I would already have all of this attached. But let's say instead of that you started a new page, just from scratch. So let's say you created a new page, and let's say this was the flavors page. So I'm going to save it to my folder structure. And what you would notice over here in the CSS window is none of my styling is showing up here under properties. None of it is showing up here, and it's because I don't have my CSS file attached here. So it's really easy to attach your CSS file that you've already started. And by the way, it is important that you only have one CSS file for any website. So for the entire Cupcake Mama site, I would have only one CSS file. So I'm going to attach it here by going down to CSS Files, Attach Style Sheet, and I can simply browse for it, and I know it's in my desktop, in my Final Cupcake folder. Here it is. It's called cupcake.css. I choose that and hit OK, and now, sure enough, in my CSS window, my styles are showing up. In my properties inspector, they're also showing up here. So please be sure that whenever you are working on a web page for your site, that if it already is not linked into the head of your page, that you immediately link that. It's really important to only be using one CSS file, one external CSS file for any given site. So that is your quick and dirty demonstration on CSS. We'll be talking more about CSS, so we're certainly not done with it. But I hope you have found this helpful, and thank you so much.